So as everybody knows, Invincible season 4 is done with now, bro. And I had to see if my nigga CJ DACHAMP, I had to see if he unleashed a video on us about this shit, bro. And just so happens he did about 8 days ago. I was late finishing it. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. I was definitely late, but I'm here now. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into this video. I wanted to see what type of funny shit CJ got to say about this shit, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie, season 4 was wild, but fuck it, we coolin'.
Why is everyone so nervous about fighting this thragg guy? No way he lives up to the hype.
A few moments later.
I got this!
Your life literally is as valuable as a summer ant. Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. Because what do you hear?
Hey, is that LTG stuff?
Kill you.
Hey, well, whoever did sit up there and watch it, bro, everything that was said went over this nigga Oliver's head. He was told not to encounter thragg alone, especially his ass. They didn't want to imply it, but come on now, we knew him. We knew him, and he keeps doing it, bro. He obviously has not learned, bro. He didn't learn from Conquest twice, and now thragg. Even the dragon nigga, bro. Like, yeah, Oliver's a kid, but you shouldn't be there, bro. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know what time it is. Court
What the fuck is
now
that
in
picture?
session because it's time for a trial, and it is for none other than the crispiest Viltrumite in the galaxy, Viltrum's final boss, Grand Regent thragg. So, y'all already know how this works. We got the evidence and it is ready to be presented. And my God, I gotta say this is some of the most damning evidence a character has ever had. So, without further ado, Exhibit A.
He on trial when it doesn't even need a trial.
Exhibit A, thragg's rise to power and his multiple atrocities. Now, we actually got a glimpse of thragg's backstory right here. And just from this backstory alone, you could already tell that thragg was a crazy ass.
Hey, when he had his eyes closed, he was like, y'all know I'm the cleanest nigga now, right? That nigga was fighting Battle Beast kids, bro. He got that fur from Battle Beast kids, bro.
Because this man is responsible for multiple horrible atrocities. So let's start off with example 1. This one planet was trying to start a rebellion because they were fed up with the Viltrumites' rule. So they decided to blow some shit up and retaliate. So the Viltrumite higher-ups, or Argall's council, whatever the hell you want to call them, had a meeting to discuss of what they should do about this rebellion. Now, Krieg and Thetis were basically arguing the whole time because Krieg straight up proposed that they should just decimate the whole planet to show the strength of the Viltrum Empire and strike fear into the species that was trying to rebel. But Thetis, on the other hand, proposed that they shouldn't decimate their planet because the Viltrumite rule over this species was cruel and inhumane. And he thought that since this species showed some type of pushback against their oppressors, that it was an act of strength and Viltrum should respect it because their main core value was strength. Now, while they kept yapping, Argall decided to shut both of them up. Then he asked thragg, "Young nigga thragg, my crispy apprentice, what do you think we should do about this minor inconvenience?" And thragg straight up said that these creatures were so weak that their weakness was an offense to the natural order of the universe, and we should educate them on why they're so ass. And after hearing thragg's rant, Argall was like, "Now that is why you are my right-hand man. Tax them niggas 25%
Bro, but look.
of their population."
Bro, but look though, I'm not gonna lie. I get it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not against die trying if something like that is happening to you. But like, bro, at that point, bro, like, I get it. But it seems like y'all not trying to sit up there and have y'all lives ended. I just feel like maybe y'all should have just sat there and just waited, bro. Y'all should have just went ahead and took it because, like, bro, it's not like y'all getting. I ain't gonna say all that. You know, I'm just gonna end that. I'm gonna end that whole little rant right there. Y'all don't want to hear that.
Is responsible for this race losing 25% of their population. A quarter of these niggas was wiped off the map because thragg thought they was weak as hell. Now, let's move into example 2. His first day as Emperor. Now, after Argol got assassinated and took a big-ass shank to the skull from Optimus Prime, they had a massive funeral for this man, and it was broadcasted across the entire planet. So after Thragg was done giving the eulogy, he does what is quite possibly one of the craziest things a leader could
They was talking about that black dude.
He said that there is a sickness in our society, and it needs to be cut out.
CJ gotta talk about that black dude. Yup. Bro, am I the only one who felt like that was weird, bro? Because every other important part, it was always a white dude sitting up there, you know, talking or this, that, and the other. But next thing you know, when a black dude on that screen, bro, probably just besides Lucan. But like, bro, why do you have to off the one black dude that showed up at Viltrum, bro? Why? And then after that, you don't really see that many of them. You really don't. I don't know. You know what? Like I said, this ain't even no hate towards the show and everything like that. I doubt they meant it that way, but if they did, I ain't gonna lie, y'all wrong.
Behind him and asks him, "You, do I look fresh today?"
I like your cut, G.
I don't believe you. He decapitated this brother for no reason at all. He chopped his head clean off to make an example out of him. So after he just murdered this dude in front of everyone, this man gets on the mic and says, "As my first command as Grand Regent, I, Thragg, hereby officially announce the first ever Viltrum Culling Games. Seek out every single sorry-ass nigga in our population and eradicate them. Purge every weak nigga from our population." So after Thragg gave this speech, all hell just broke loose across
Bro, but
the entire planet.
bro, look here, bro. You see what's happening right there. I feel like that was the most stupidest thing ever, bro. Maybe Viltrumites are just fucking ignorant when it's outside of combat. But like, bro, you can't complain that most of your population is about done for when you cause some of it. Not only did the Scourge virus do something to you, but nigga, y'all decided to sit up there off the first dude because you thought he was lying. And then after that, you decided to basically dedicate war on yourselves. That was the stupidest shit I've ever sat up there and heard. All because somebody betrayed y'all. I think that I feel like in Viltrum there was a better way to go about that. And y'all could have kept most of y'all people. And that war damn near would have never happened unless they had more people. You know what I'm saying? Like if they had more people, the coalition would have had more people. They would have made sure. But nah, y'all niggas was like 50 Viltrumites. Y'all was about 50 Viltrumites. Y'all fucked up the war for yourselves, even though, I ain't gonna lie, all they needed was Thragg. The other niggas, even in this, I ain't gonna lie, they were just filler fights. I'm not gonna lie, because you see what Thragg did to everybody. Come on.
Began. Viltrumites just started killing each other off one by one so they could weed out every person they considered weak. And it wasn't just the adults doing it too. It was the kids as well. Look at them jumping this little nigga. Bro got jumped by 3 other kids that got stomped out to death.
Those are the same kids.
Was just straight up horrific. And I'm gonna keep it a beam. This
are those the same kids from that one episode?
Ways to ever find out who was weak or not. Because what this was a battle royale. Anything could happen. You could literally get cheap kills off of niggas for third partying another 1v1. They could be 10 times.
I feel bad for whoever had to face Conquest for real. All you see is one nigga facing Conquest.
At half HP. Just come behind them and sneak their ass. Like, this shit is stupid. And God forbid a nigga ran into a motherfucker like Conquest. Because that was just instant death. It didn't matter how strong you were if you ran into that nigga.
I wish it would have given a backstory on how Conquest became so, like, what happened to his arm.
It led to half of their population getting wiped out. Billions of Viltrumites died because of this purge. And those billions of bodies are.
And I feel like the other Grand Regent wouldn't do no stupid shit like this, bro.
And now we're at our third major atrocity. And that was his invasion on Telescria. This nigga pulled up in a big ass Star Destroyer and started burning this city to the ground and destroying everything.
He did waste no time.
Innocent people were getting boomed and vaporized while this man was just sitting in his ship and looking down on all this death and destruction. And then there is a high probability that this man would have probably just scorched the whole planet if Mark and friends didn't destroy his ship and make him tweak out about losing Argol's skull. But I think that we can all agree after
Hey, he's super loyal though.
Atrocities that this man Thragg is just a straight up space tyrant, because there is nothing more that this nigga loved to do than conquer civilizations and spread bloodshed wherever he went.
And it's crazy because every time he sit up there and sit like that, bro, or he looks like that, it looks like he has some remorse. But the nigga is dedicated to his mission. And that's the scariest type of nigga. A nigga who is dedicated, but also feels a void, bro. For what he is doing. It looked like he feels a void for what he is doing, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me know if I'm tripping in the comment section, bro. Wait, mass murder, killing 25% of a population. Murder, killing a random black man. Mass murder, started a purge to wipe out half of his race. Mass murder, invading Telescria, killing millions. Yep. I ain't gonna lie though. The wiping out all of his race, bro, is stupid as hell to me. Agree, bro. If y'all agree or disagree, let me know.
Exhibit B.
It's stupid. However you put it, it's stupid.
Exhibit B. Putting the fraud allegations to rest. Man, oh man. The amount of people that were calling Thragg a fraud before episode 7 was just flat out insane. Like, we're now in a era where if a new character ain't doing some shit like ore farming or putting belt to ass to niggas in the first 5 minutes of their screen time, they're putting them on fraud watch. People were actually calling him a fraud before he even threw his first punch. Now, if you
that first punch was devious though.
Thragg a fraud before all this happened, all is forgiven. As long as you sign this document and turn
Wait. Grand Regent Thragg apology form. Reason for behavior. The media convinced me it was bad casting. I only looked at his jawline. I was not aware of his true power. I did not read the actual comics. The betrayer convinced me he was weak. I was jealous of the Viltrum Empire. And then in bold letters, I am sorry for my behavior and I will hereby respect Grand Regent Thragg. But hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you watched anime or you read comic books as long as I have, bro, you can tell what the buildup is doing, bro. You can tell what the buildup is doing. Or if you like was able to watch a video to be in the mind of the person who made whatever, you know when shit's real, shit's real. There was some comments and comics and mangas and animes I watched where they built this nigga up to be such a badass, but yet they're acting like King from One Punch Man, bro. But hey, shit just happens, bro.
by the end of the trial. Now, everyone should have known Thragg was all about that action the moment the coalition pulled up to Viltrum, because they pulled up searching for this man just for him to
and he came, yep.
Door. Bro said, you ain't even gotta search for me, gang. I'm right here and I'm ready to throw down. So Thula comes from behind and sneaks Status in the back, and all the other Viltrumites in
bro, real quick, bro. I can't wait to play as Stula and Thula, Anissa, and not gonna lie, sometimes Bulletproof. But I had to go to GameStop, bro. They were all sold out. I'm not buying games on PS5 no more. On digital, I'm not doing it no more. So I went ahead and did that. But it came at a good cost though, because hey, some niggas got that generic ass Omni-Man and Invincible thing right there. I got the drawn out picture on the case. But I have to wait a few days for it to come, bro. I bought it yesterday. I'm just waiting for it to get shipped out here. Can't wait to get my fucking hands on it, bro. I can't wait to play Invincible Versus.
Surrounding them, because Thragg set up an ambush because
a nigga was kind of broke. Nigga was kind of broke.
Kill him on Viltrum. So he sicks his minions to start jumping the coalition, while he just straight up sat back and watched.
Hold up, Battle Beast be talking all that shit, bro. I'm pissed off because he barely put up no points. If I'm lying, I'm flying, bro. But look, y'all let me know. Did Battle Beast really put up some points, bro? Because mind you, he was dogging some of them on that ship when Nolan was captured. He was dogging most of them on that ship, if I'm correct. Like, bro, where was his points at? Where was his points at? I didn't see no points. Maybe that's just me. Let me know if he had some points.
him fight the whole time. This dude didn't even bother to move from the spot he was in till Space Racer shot his Infinity Ray at him. And all he did was move back a couple of inches. This man didn't give a flying fuck about a laser that would one-shot him. He just straight up had the confidence to know that that shit wasn't hitting him. So the first person to actually try to fight him was Omni-Man. So Nolan flew in and tried to hit him, but all Thragg did was move back a couple of inches again and make Nolan hit straight air. Then Thragg flew above him and winded up a punch from the heavens. And if you take a look at Nolan's face right here, you can tell that he is clearly thinking,
damn, he really about to rock my shit.
Thragg punched this nigga Nolan so hard he turned into a living, breathing meteor and made him crash all the way down on the surface of Viltrum.
I don't know
So
how
after
they
Thragg
ever
hit
finna
Nolan
beat
with the
Thragg, bro. If they
stage
ever have to
change,
fight again
Thragg
for real.
came down and tried to hit Nolan with some good old talk no jutsu. He was telling him, Nolan, big dog, come home. Why are you fighting for these sorry ass, weak ass niggas? They is his sorry ass killed our emperor and brought us to damn near extinction, and you wanna align with that?
But he did it first. Regardless of how many Viltrumites is there, y'all would have more if you did not put that order out. Come on now. Come on, bro. You made a rash decision. You started the annihilation of Viltrum when you became Grand Regent. You started it, my nigga. You can't blame nobody else. You know what? Let me stop talking, because if I was there, he would do me like that other black nigga.
Autobots, roll out, sounding ass nigga. But Nolan tried to tell Thragg that he was a changed man now, and he was done sipping from that Viltrum Kool-Aid to be a brainwashed space tyrant. So after Nolan tried to get Thragg to stop and surrender, Thragg looked at Nolan dead in the face and said,
when this happened, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Nolan had a chance, bro. I thought Nolan had a chance. I thought besides them, even though what happened on Thraxa with Thula and Lucan and everything like that, bro, I thought besides Conquest, but it seemed like Nolan could handle Conquest for real. I'm not gonna lie, but especially with this little face-off right here and them being kind of familiar with each other, I thought Nolan was kind of on par. Paying them bills and raising kids and everything like that must have, bro. I feel like Nolan should have had a chance. I feel like Nolan should have had a chance. But hey, Nolan wasn't pussy. I fuck with him for that.
oh Nolan, how far you fallen. Looks like that Earth Coochie really made you a soft ass nigga. So Thragg winds up a punch that was so strong it created a vortex, and he hits Nolan with a short you.
I lied. I forgot about that part.
That sent Nolan flying all the way back up.
Is this Resident Evil Requiem's
after Nolan got sent
little
back to
soundtrack,
outer
bro?
space, the next
It's
person
gotta
that
be.
tried to step up was everyone's favorite useless purple punching bag, Oliver. Now, before we observe what happens to this half-insect buffoon, I want y'all to hear exactly what Oliver says 20 minutes before this fight starts. Roll the clip.
Why is everyone so nervous about fighting this thragg guy? No way he lives up to the hype.
Now, as we can see, Oliver is basically representing everybody that put Thragg on Frog Watch. He himself was not believing in all the hype.
What I believe is, cause let's keep it a bean. There's teenagers and kids who watches Invincible. We're gonna keep that a bean. It's inevitable. Somebody is watching it, bro. Probably somebody Oliver age. We're gonna say in this, Oliver's probably like 13, 14, whatever the fuck, because you know, Thraxan years, bro. Thraxan years. The nigga purple. The nigga not regular. He ages fast as hell. But look, we're gonna say he represents like 16-year-olds and everything like that and under. Maybe like he was representing y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sorry to say it, but he was representing y'all, because I feel like real niggas knew that nigga was kind of the truth, especially after no one said, however strong you are, Thragg is stronger. If no one's saying that shit, then yeah, no. And also, who can take? Okay, say nobody knew about Thragg. Say nobody knew about Thragg, right? Oliver been getting his ass beat since day one. Why would I take what this nigga says over anybody else? Come on. No. Even Mark was scared, bruh. Bro, come on. He didn't know if he was coming home or not.
Even after his dad straight up told him, however strong you think you are, thragg is stronger. But Oliver, being a hard-headed ass nigga and not listening to any of the warnings about
Like, look at that face.
being on the receiving
Now he can't make that face no more because his bottom jaw is gone.
Oliver flew in to punch Thragg, but Thragg stops him with one hand. Then he crushes Oliver's hand and grabs him by the arm when he tried to get away. And you can see it in Oliver's face when he
was like, "Oh yeah, Dad told me not to fight him."
And he should have listened to his pops the whole time, but it was all too late for him. Thragg backhands Oliver so hard his jaw falls off.
And you know, at first I didn't even know he took his arm off at first, bro. This was kind of like Grace when she lost her leg. Well, when people thought she was about to lose her leg because the way that she screamed, bro. Oscar award, by the way. Please give it to her. But yeah, this was kind of like that for me. Like, bro, you got your jaw, like that one interaction, bro. You lost two precious things of yours for not fucking listening. Like, oh my God, listen, you're a disobedient ass boy. Stop the shit.
Got snatched. Ah, man. Attempted murder and tackle on the child abuse. This nigga Oliver is the most useless person on this squad. He was a waste of space.
You Guardians of the Globe now. I seen that TikTok.
CJ, what about Tech Jacket? You see, at least Tech Jacket
knows
her role.
Bro. And if she's not in there right now, in Invincible Versus, no. Because one thing that she did that made everything work out in their favor, she was putting up points. She was shooting them niggas. She was shooting them Viltrumites with all of those. Hold up. She was shooting the Viltrumites with all of those darts, bro. Weakening them. So everybody else could finish them off. And she hit most of them. Yeah, she missed some, but at the end of the day, she was still putting up points. Oliver, you ain't put up no points, my nigga. Don't mention Tech Jacket, bro. Don't ever put no fraud. Don't put no fraud allegations on Tech Jacket, bro. No. Don't deserve it. Or the Unopen. Please don't. Don't mess with Alan either.
In the backline, shoot your Viltrumite debuff darts at him and get your assist. She's being a good support character. Oliver, on the other hand, is that one brain dead DPS on your team that goes into a fight alone, dies, and asks where the team was at as he's feeding the other team. This nigga is just straight up garbage. This little nigga was talking crazy as hell, all for him to get his jaw broken off and not being able to talk again for the foreseeable future. Fucking trash can, bro. So after Oliver got humbled by...
Wait, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. Oliver Grayson, after getting curb stomped by Thragg. That's the crazy part about it. You didn't even need to get curb stomped, my nigga.
Thragg. Mark tried to rush in on Thragg with a rage boost, all for Thragg to flash him with one of the craziest impact frames.
When I first seen that, bro, imagine how scared I fucking got, bro. I had a whole sound system in my front room, right? Watching this with my girl, right? Next thing you know, I'm over here watching this nigga put his head down. Nigga, the fuck you mean, boy? She didn't notice it, bro. I was in my chair, bro. Not in my chair. I was on my couch, bro. I was like, nigga, what the fuck? She was like, what's wrong? I was like, you didn't just see that shit? The episode's still playing. I'm like, stop. Back. Play it a little bit. Pause. This nigga's a demon. Little niño. Or whatever they call demons in Spanish or something like that when shit get real. Bro, fuck that. I was so scared of that nigga, bro. After that, bro, I had a nightmare about that shit. I'm over here fighting the air. I got my cheeks taken.
All time, then stopping his punch with his hairline. Then after he showed Mark his fresh lineup that he got right before this battle, he gives him a left and a mean-ass gut check, then grabs him by the neck and pip slaps him out of Viltrum's orbit. Look at the impact frame of this man getting the shit slapped out of him. He slapped the taste out this nigga's mouth and made his whole head do a 180 before his whole body got put in reverse. Not gonna lie, gang, just for this, I'm giving him an extra attempted murder because this pimp slap was uncalled for, bruh. So damn disrespectful.
That sounds right.
He
too strong.
Mark, he flew up to my glorious King Battle Beast, rocked him in his jaw, then grabbed his jetpack, then threw him to a whole other solar system. Battle Beast like a toy into deep space is actually insane. So since everyone was getting dog walked by Thragg, they decided the best thing to do was to just destroy the whole planet. So
Alright, Lee-chan.
shot his infinity infinity ray at the planet, and Mark, Nolan, and Thetis fly into the planet's core and blow it up.
Not gonna lie, that was the worst thing they could have done. It's like they didn't even think about what could happen if they sat up there and did that. It's like they was like, okay, fuck it. If they have no place to stay, everything's cool. No. If y'all do that, they should have been thinking. If they do that, that means they can invade Earth. Like, come on now. Nolan was sent there. Conquest was sent there. Anissa was sent there. You don't think they're going to invade Earth?
So after these three blew up the planet, this sent Thragg over the edge. This man looked directly at Thetis.
He was crying.
Onto his target like he was a heat-seeking missile and ripped Thetis' head.
If we're gonna be honest, Thaddeus deserved the shit though. He kind of deserved the shit. He was right in ways, but he was wrong in ways. And y'all gotta understand where I'm coming from when I say that, right? So, okay, he's definitely the one who assassinated the first Grand Regent, right? Or Argo. He's the first one to do that. Let's keep it a bean. It's the only person who could have did that. Hooded figure or not. I don't even know if they actually said no names, this, that, and the other. But he did that. He did the Scourge virus. But after that, okay, having a beef with Viltrumites on Viltrum. Okay, cool. I knew he wasn't finna let the Viltrumites be, even if they would have defeated Thragg or something like that. I feel like he still would have sat out there and went after Mark, Nolan, and Oliver. Because they know if they reproduced, somebody's going to want to sit up there and do something. Which he's not wrong to think. But I'm a believer of wait until it happens, then try to deal with it. If you can't deal with it, okay, you still know that you, like, come on. If y'all know what I mean. But these type of decisions is hard, but like sometimes you don't have to make them decisions. I don't know.
Clean off of his shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just straight up murder. They just didn't even get a chance to react. All he saw in his last
he had a chance
was Thragg's crispy ass hairline, blitzing him at Mach speed. Then he displayed his head to everyone, then crushed it into mush while telling everyone they're next. So after he sent Optimus Prime back to the Bayverse, he grabs Nolan with no hesitation and just starts to lay the smackdown on this nigga. While Nolan couldn't do anything, he couldn't fight back at all. Thragg then low-key started hitting Nolan with the Superman Injustice 2 super move, just yo-yoing his body with punches. Then Mark came in and tried to help out, but he gets punched in the
he should have stayed his ass back.
He can't breathe anymore. So Nolan tried to attack, but he gets his wrist shattered. Then when Mark saw Thragg
that was so much
towards
ease.
him, his fight or flight senses kicked in. Because Mark hit the jets and just tried to skedaddle. But Thragg was chasing him and he was on his ass. Look at the expression on Mark's face right here.
Look, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the one reason why I feel like Viltrumites would have an edge on Saiyans, right? If I'm correct, if I'm not correct, let me know in the comment sections. The only reason why I think they have an edge is because of how brutal they are compared to, you know, all that. If we're gonna say Viltrumites versus Kryptonians, I feel like Viltrumites can take an edge. Maybe not as well against Saiyans, but I feel like they'll take out a good amount of them because of how ruthless they are. In anime, back when Dragon Ball Z first came out, it was blood and everything like that. They dumbed it down. But imagine if it was never dumbed down and we was able to see what they were actually doing, what Saiyans were actually doing. But Viltrumites and Kryptonians, I don't want to make no debate against no Saiyans and Viltrumites because I feel like it's still unfair. But you still gotta take other Saiyans into account, like their race, their species, which we don't know much about. We seen them fight a little bit. We seen the Saiyans back like when Frieza took over, this, that, and the other. But what about before that? We don't got nothing except for Krillin and them doing image training. And that's just image training. Okay, back to it. Back to it.
This is the face of a man who is terrified and is running from death itself. So Thragg grabs Mark and starts giving him ferocious back shots. Then after he finished giving Mark back shots, he had him hoisted up and he was about to end this man's existence right here. But Nolan comes in and saves Mark at the last second. So after Mark got saved, Mark asked, "Dad, how do we beat him?" And Nolan looked back at his son.
I don't know, bro.
"Son, we're cooked."
He must have been super fast because Nolan would have seen that
Thragg
shit.
gave Nolan the Viltrumite special technique. That is just flat out attempted murder. Then Thragg grabbed Mark by the neck again and gave him a head, but that was probably heard around the cosmos. Then he started to squeeze his head and he was going to crush Mark's head just like he did to Thetis.
Bro,
but at the last second,
that part was
Thragg
scaring me.
decides
That part was scaring me, bro. I thought it was dead ass over for that nigga, bro. I thought it was over for Mark. But I should have known. Bro, you know when, like, you've been watching shows for so long, but then next thing you know, like, something happens and they have you, like, throw all that shit out the window because it's like, oh, damn, he could really be gone. Like, bro. And Thragg, I ain't gonna lie, seeing that little pieces, those 4 pieces of spikes in your hairline, bro, I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna need to, you're gonna have to send Vegeta a motherfucking hairstylist card to go ahead and get rid of that widow's peak to get what you got, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
to stop because he realized that too much Viltrumite blood has been spilled. So he lets Mark off the hook and leaves him for dead in space with his father and his brother. This man Thragg shut those fraud allegations up real quick because he just straight up
Okay, wait for Invincible versus, bruh.
Omni-Man got left with his guts hanging out. Mark got put into another coma and Oliver had to get put in a Bacta tank with a new shiny mechanical jaw and a prosthetic arm to go with it. Exhibit C. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our third and final exhibit. Exhibit C, PTSD and holding Earth hostage. Now, after Thragg put belt to ass to the coalition and left the whole family for dead in space, Mark thought they were going to go to Earth and destroy everything. So when Mark finally recovered from the beating that Thragg gave him, it is revealed that Mark got his ass beat so bad, he got PTSD. But not just your regular PTSD. This nigga Mark got specifically
Bro, that face.
Pragmatic stress disorder.
Hold up, bro. This nigga did not, cause I know what he talking about, bro. I know he did not just replace traumatic with thragmatic. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic. Oh, hell.
Not gonna lie, I think we haven't seen a case of PTSD this severe since Slade did this shit to Robin. Cause Mark was tweaking out so hard, he was seeing things just like Robin was. So let's go through some of the examples.
Weren't the animations that was made by WB?
Actually was. Example 1. Mark finally comes back home to see his mother for the first time after the war. So this was supposed to be a heartwarming moment, but it goes south real quick. While Mark was talking to his mom, he looked away for like 1 second. And when he turned around again, he sees Debbie getting choked out by Thragg. And Thragg tells him
that blurry vision was the only thing.
Repayment for what you did.
Like at first, I thought that shit was real, especially with the Debbie one. But the blurs kind of gave it out to me a little bit. I was like, no, this isn't normal. He's not there, bro. I was like, this nigga is just scared as fuck. I was fighting that shit until literally, like, my realities was clashing with my damn self. I was like, bro, is he actually there? And then the rest of them, like, it's like you never knew because he could be there. You know he could. You know he damn near was on Earth. I don't know.
And rips Debbie's head clean off. I'm not gonna lie, this shit got me for a quick second. Cause this happened so fast it felt like a jump scare. Bro really thought for a second that he saw his mother get her head ripped off before he finally snapped back into reality. But this was only his first post-thragmatic stress disorder episode, because there were more to come. Example 2, Mark and Eve were having a very important conversation about how life's been for her since Mark left. And she was about to give him the whole lore dump of what all happened when he left. So right before she was about to tell Mark that she was pregnant, she gets her head snatched by Thragg. And Thragg starts to hold her up above
Yeah, she
Mark
ain't
and
fucking
tells
with that
him,
bitch like she did with
"You took
Conquest."
away what I love. Now I'm taking what you love, little nigga. So he starts to gouge her eyes out and crush her face. Then her other eyeball ends up popping out of her head before he finally kills her in front of Mark. Then throws her lifeless body right back at him. This nigga Mark was going through hell. He was living a nightmare because he couldn't tell if this was real or not. Eve had to
She
snap
did
this
put on
man
some
out of
pounds,
the
though. I ain't
genjutsu
gonna lie.
that he was stuck
I ain't
in
even
because
mad at
he
it.
was actually stun locked. Now, let's observe example 3. Mark is giving the debrief to Cecil about the war and was low-key about to ask him for a therapist. Now, while their conversation continued, Mark closed his eyes, and the moment he looked back up, he sees Thragg giving Cecil the Viltrumite special moves. And while he had his body lifted
The GDA,
up, he told
right?
Mark, just to
If
let
he was
you
able to
know,
get through the
I'm still
GDA like
in
that
your
with
head.
ease, bro,
And not
that's
even
not
therapy,
that's not
he
government
compared the
approved, bro.
shit I did to you. Then he throws Cecil's lifeless body to the side like trash. And after this, Mark just started hyperventilating.
But me, honestly, I don't think Cecil will just let that happen to him, though.
PTSD till Cecil finally
Viltrumite or
calmed
not.
this nigga down and brought him back to reality. So after Mark went through like 3 post-thragmatic stress disorder episodes, Mark decided to go on a flight to clear his head. And while he was out flying, he sees Thragg again. So Mark, thinking he's having another episode, closes his eyes and starts to think in his head, this is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here. So when Mark opens up his eyes again, Thragg was still there. And he told him, yes, little nigga, we indeed are here. And this was when Mark finally realized that the Thragg standing in front of him was indeed the real Thragg. So Mark starts freaking out and begins to hit Thragg over and over again. But Thragg just took all of this with no reaction. Then palmed Mark's face and threw him back to where he started. Then Thragg told him, stop, little nigga. I didn't come here to fight. I came here to talk. So Thragg gives this man a little smile, then tells Mark, here's how this is about to go down, little nigga. You took our home, so now we're taking yours. So from this day forward, we will be using Earth as a breeding ground to repopulate our forces and rebuild our empire. And don't worry, they've already started. Krieg done cracked like 6 of your Earth holes already.
At this point.
That one-eyed motherfucker's having the time of his life right now.
Seeing that
And
part,
Lucan is
that nigga's
already
down
famous.
dirty.
He's been hosting this show called Family Feud under an alias name, Steve Harvey or some shit. But that's besides the point. What you need to know is this, little nigga. You're going to let us coexist with you. And if you don't, we will rip this planet in half. Also, I will need to acquire the location of your planet's best barbers. Their services will be needed. So Mark has to agree because he basically has no choice. And Thragg officially takes the entire planet of Earth as hostage and turns it into a Viltrumite breeding farm. The verdict. Ladies and gentlemen,
Super
after
fucking
observing
guilty.
all of this evidence and tallying up this long list of charges, this is a pass with flying colors. This man Thragg belongs in the elite category for menaces. He pulled off this list of charges in 3 episodes, gang. That is like a new record for Charles or some shit.
It was
And
that
this
has-
is just
it
the
felt like
tip
it
of
was
the
more than
iceberg,
3
because
episodes,
the files
bro.
on this man are going to continue over the years. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. And until our next trial that is coming up very soon, I bid y'all farewell.
He doing a pain trial? I don't know if I'm gonna watch the pain trial. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, that nigga Thragg is just a force to be really fucked with. I'm not gonna lie. Bro, they're definitely going to add him. Excuse me. Sorry. They're definitely going to add him as DLC. If he does not get DLC, we need to have a riot. We need to have a riot. Because it will make no sense. And give him that signature pull-in punch. Give it to him. I don't know what all he can do because he really haven't did nothing. Or you know what? Give him an ultimate. Add some combos before it. Whatever you got to do in that little cutscene for the combo. And then have him sit up there, push him away, rush him, take his head off his shoulders like that is. And name it the Betrayer. The Betrayers. What's a good name for it? The Betrayer's Atonement. Betrayer's Atonement. On me. But besides that, That was CJ DACHAMP, and that was the trial of Thragg, Viltrum's final boss, which he's a final boss for sure. Ain't no, nah. There's literally, I don't know how they finna beat Thragg, bro. Unless they was able to sit up there and sneak him like Thaddeus did Argyle. Besides that, bro, y'all let me know how this, let me know how this was in the comment, bro. CJ DACHAMP, appreciate the video, bro. Very funny person. Fuss with you. Y'all have a good one.
I know you want what I got, I've been sipping drink, I've been sipping dry, gun inside my pants, bitch. I can't barely walk, I cannot buy happiness, but I know love is pop. I know you want what I got, I've been sipping drink, I've been sipping dry, gun inside my pants, bitch. I can't barely walk, I cannot buy happiness, but I know love